Le Mans 8.5 miles of country road. It's narrow, ungraded, it's rough. You gotta do that for 24 hours. But half that race is in the dark, you can't see shit. Drivers stumbling around the track, pouring blood. Maybe he's on fire. And if anything goes wrong, that's it, the whole thing's over. Ferrari wins again.
Hi, I'm Jay Chaudhary and let's talk about Ford vs Ferrari, a movie set in 1960 about Le Mans of 1965 and 66, in which Ford competed against Ferrari after Enzo Ferrari used Ford trying to buy them as an opportunity to get a better deal from Fiat, and then for the cherry on top, insults Henry Ford II by saying, and I quote, "My integrity as a male constructor is deeply insulted by a proposal. Go back to Mystic and back to your big ugly factory making its ugly little cars and tell your pig-headed boss that all his smug executives are worthless sons of whores and he's not Henry Ford. He's Henry Ford II. Well, let's just say Henry Ford does not take it well and tells Lee Iacocca, played by John Bernthal, to get a racing division made so they can defeat Ferrari in 24 hours of Le Mans, which Ferrari has been winning for the past 4 years consecutively. So who does Lee approaches for that? Carroll Shelby, played by Matt Damon, one of the few Americans who has won 24 hours of Le Mans and is now retired, selling constructed cars by him under his name. When Lee proposes the idea that Ford wants to compete in Le Mans, which is just 90 days away, as any sane person would say, he says it's impossible. To which Lee has the most powerful counter, a blank check.
You can't buy a win, Lee. But maybe you could buy the guy who gets you a shot.
Understandable. And who's the best driver Carroll Shelby knows? Ken Miles, played by Christian Bale, an American racing driver who now has his name in the Motorsport Hall of Fame. But in 1965 was having major money problems after even having his garage been seized by IRS and was on verge of losing his own house. When Shelby approaches Ken and explains everything, Ken replied with, "Oh, this is a deja vu, but yeah, it's impossible. But he will be paid $200 per day, so understandable?" Man, there's a lot of deja vus here. So they somehow managed to get a car ready for the race, but even though Ken is the best driver, they have as the antagonist of the movie, Leo Baby. Even the name suggests how childishly annoying this guy is gonna be. Well, as he says, and I quote, "He is too pure." Well, can't really argue with that. But as he suggests, he's not a good impression of the Ford brand, and air quotes, he is not a Ford driver. But guess what? He is the boss and corporate is a hellhole. In other words, Ken does not get to drive in Le Mans 1965 and Ford loses big. Now, as any upon his horse control freak of a company would do,
give me one reason why I don't fire everyone associated with this abomination, starting with you.
But Carroll Shelby is Carroll Shelby and convinces Henry Ford to let them compete against, but now with control straight in Shelby's hand and direct reporting to Ford himself, which does not last long at all, as he makes Leo the head of racing department and he does not want Ken driving. To convince, Shelby takes Ford on a joyride so he understands what this car takes and why Ken should be the driver, to which they decide, let's make Ken race in Daytona. If he wins, he will drive in Le Mans. If he fails, however, Ford will take over Shelby Motors. As you can guess, he wins and gets to drive in Le Mans. And as the race starts, Leo Baby's cheap tricks to not let Miles win also starts. But one last cheap trick actually works, as all Ferrari cars get out of the race, 2 in crashes and 1 in engine blow up, racing Miles. Bebe asks the 3 leading Fords to cross the line together for a historical photograph. Even though he is 1 lap up, which Miles does not take nicely and breaks his own lap record. But in the end decides to give in, thinking if they tie, he will still be considered the winner. So he slows down and the Ford cross the line together. However, Bruce McLaren is announced the winner as he has started the race a bit farther back. Yeah, that's the same McLaren. Ken Miles gets robbed of his victory but does earn respect from Enzo Ferrari. 2 months later, Ken dies in a car accident because of a brake failure. And that's the story of Ford vs Ferrari. A story of ego, passion and proud, and how ass lickers are more respected in today's world than actual raw talent.